A local author is hosting a release celebration for her new book tonight.
Yes, it's for her book called The Silver Shoes, which is based on an experience she had right here in San Diego. We're going to talk to author Jill Hall right after the break. Stay with us. A local author is hosting a release celebration tonight for her new book, The Silver Shoes, and she's here to tell us all about it. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. This is really cool. This is a story about these shoes that are found in a vintage shop. So without giving it away, tell us what happens.
Okay, well, it's about the 1920s, New York, and also present-day San Francisco. It's a historical novel, and Claire, a 1929 debutante, defies her father to become a flapper. And then after the stock market crashes, she becomes entwined in the world of burlesque. It's also about Anne, a present-day artist who finds the shoes in a vintage shop and purchases them.
And she's just trying to track down the history of the shoes,
Yes,
right?
correct. Yes, she starts to do some research and finds out more and more about who might have originally owned the shoes, and goes on a tangent to try to find them. She also creates artwork that correlates with what might have happened with the shoes.
That's so cool. And you're a third-generation San Diegan.
Yes,
and
yes.
You loved a vintage shop, so is that kind of what inspired you to write?
Yes. Well, because I also create the artwork. I'm an artist also, like my character Anne, and so I look for found objects to use in my artwork. And so while shopping one time for treasures, I found a black velvet coat.
Which was the title of your first novel.
And that was the title of my first novel. And the coat just took me on this wonderful journey of writing my first novel. And then the second novel also was all about vintage and what you can find out about found objects and treasures. I always like to imagine what could have happened and who owned these pieces originally.
Right, and San Diego has such a fun, rich history with celebrities and that whole time period being Crosby. So when you vintage shop here, you kind of wonder where these objects may have been.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you mentioned your first novel, The Black Velvet Coat, which I should mention was an International Book Award finalist and an Amazon #1 bestseller.
Correct, yes.
So you're expecting the same kind of
I'm hoping.
Excitement around this one. Okay,
yes.
So you're going to have a book signing tonight at Warwick's in La Jolla.
Yes.
What time can people come
7:30. We start at 7:30. People are invited to wear their own silver shoes.
I love it.
And 1920s flapper attire if they'd like, or just come as you are. And I'm going to be talking all about the inspiration for the book and how I wrote it, and then doing a signing.
Very cool. What kind of questions do you typically hear when you go to these book signings?
A lot of questions I'm asked about. How did you write this book? Where did it come from? How did you do your research for the 1920s? Those kinds of questions.
Because that's such an important part when you're writing a historical novel to be accurate in the history of the time.
It really is. And with what I do first, I'm an intuitive writer, just like an intuitive artist, and I write without an outline. I just start going and I just let my heart lead me, and characters appear out of nowhere. And then from there, after I've written a draft, I have to go back and check the research. Could these things have really happened? Was there really a pogo stick in the 1920s invented? Could a character really, did that building really exist? Was it there in that city at that time? And so I find it really fascinating. And then I work further and I get pictures from the era, and that helps me color in the history of a place.
Such a great idea. Jill Hall, thank you so much. Best of luck with this new novel. And again, you can go to Warwick's in La Jolla tonight at 7:30. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you very much.